Welcome to another video. Today we will be going over the new Assassin Tower and the cool new redesign for Archer. Let's go over the Assassin Tower. The Assassin Tower is only 800 coins. It's a intermediate tower. It's very good for early game. Very good for late game low HP enemies, as it has decent crowd control. So let's go over the stats. So base level 0, 0.75 fire rate. I'm guessing 6 range because I have the skills on. So I'm gonna guess around 6 range and 2 damage. The first upgrade's only 150. Goes from 6 to 7 range and 2 to 3 damage. So it's actually that's actually very good for that cheap price. 600. Level 2, it gets hidden detection. 0.75 fire rate to 6 fire rate, 3 damage to 8 damage, and it gets the whirlwind slash. Pretty much after 3 attacks, it'll do a spin around in it, and it has its own range. It'll spin and it'll hit all the enemies that are in the range of the slash, the whirlwind slash. So every 3 attacks, 8 damage, and the range is 6. So it's about the size of the range. Pretty much when it slashes, anything here will get killed. So if we spawn in a decent amount of enemies, after it attacks 3 times, it should pretty much just deletes those small crowd of enemies. Level 3 is just a better version of level 2, where it gets 8 to 18 damage. Same thing for the whirling slash, so it just does more damage. And max level, which in my opinion, I think it should cost a little bit more per level, because this seems a little bit just too cheap for the damage. But 7 range, so I'm gonna guess about 7.5 range, 0.6 fire rate to 0.5, 18 range to 30 damage, and then it gets a throwing knives ability. So after 150 damage dealt, it'll throw 3 knives. Each knife does 25 damage. The range is 10, so pretty much out to about here-ish. And it pierces through through 3 enemies. The whirlwind got a 7 range increase and 30 damage instead of 15. So we can go ahead and show you guys the... Let's get a couple eggs here. Shouldn't be too bad. So it does deal some decent amount of damage. It does have splash, so it can hit multiple. There was the 3 knives. It's kind of like the old shredder ability, as it threw knives, but it's off of damage rather than like out of his range. So like, for example, before, old shredder had like, it didn't visually show, but pretty much it had like a small range here where the where it would slash, and then it would go farther, and then it would throw knives. So pretty much, but this just does it off of damage rather than just automatic throughout its range. Some people may say that this tower is a bit trash, but it's actually really, or mid I should say, but it's actually not too bad, as if all players have it for early game. For example, you can get 2 placed down in the early game and 1 upgraded, depending on if you have your skills upgraded. But for example, just to show you how it struggled on these eggs, just with 8 of these shredders, watch it absolutely, it annihilates. Like, that is very good for an early game tower. It is really good for Fallen, I will say. It's very good for killing the low HP enemies. Once you do spam enough of it, it can actually like destroy crowds of enemies. It helps a lot for early and late game. Mid game, it's a little of a situation, because it can't really, you're kind of just still on that track. You're usually around level 3 in mid game. Doesn't really do too much until max level. But I have 16 down now. Go ahead, let's get an arrow. This thing has 800 health, and as you could see, that 800 health got absolutely destroyed. The arrow, that's just for an example, so if we spam summon, you can see that it does struggle, yes, but it does deal really good damage. Like, even though we did leak some of them. Each one of those have 800. That is really good damage for a melee tower that's only 800 coins and only costs 6,800 cash without DJ. With DJ, this thing is cheap as heck. That's why I think personally it should cost a bit more. But here's a prime example of it being really trash is with defense. It struggles a lot if the enemy has defense. So like Molten mode, this thing would struggle a lot because of defense. That's also why Assassin kind of struggles in mid game with most game modes, because that's when enemies get defense and it really brings back the damage because it's defense and it takes it away. For example, even getting the armors, here's the armor, like you could see it still struggles a decent amount. Even though it's only 60, you can see it does struggle with all of that because of just the defense in general. So I would give this about a B tier. If we're listing this on a tier list, I would say about low-ish, maybe mid B tier. This is really, really good. I suggest getting, it's only 800 coins for an intermediate tower. This is really good very good for beginners. This is definitely insane for both the two first easier modes, definitely. Even in intermediate, this thing would be very good for crowding. Now let's go ahead and check out the archer. So here is the archer. I do have a skin on, but the stun time got increased. Some of the costs per level got increased for some of the levels, but the stun time for shock is better. And the damage overall got a slight increase in damage, maybe slight decrease, even, and fire tick as well. But I love the way they remodeled these. It has the same face, it just looks different throughout each levels. If you check out other YouTubers, they're probably showing different skins, but this, I love this. This is really good. It's still good. It's still a good tower. I don't know if they brought it on sale, but really nice remodel. They did tease the turret remodel. That also looks really cool. This is just a short recap of the update. Hope y'all enjoyed the update and my video. We're back making videos, by the way, too, because yeah. And see you guys in the next one, probably in the stream. Let's go. This is a good update. I cannot wait for next update as well. See you guys.